Good afternoon, everyone. Let's do a sound check. Whoever gets here first, let me know if you can hear me. Please. All right, you can hear me. I checked myself. Hi, Lori. Thank you, doll. Give me just a second. I'm going to put in a couple of links. You know the drill. Oh, I hope I did it right. One of these is correct. It looks like the second one is correct. Okay. So we got that. I want to put in a link to Wild Berries and Kindest Regards. Wouldn't you know it? Well, there's Kindest Regards. And if you give me just a second, I'll pop over here to my Shopify store and I'll pick up a link for Wild Berries. And give people a little bit of time to join us. So this is our new time for Tag Along Tuesday, 1 o'clock. That's 3 Central and 4 Eastern. I'm Victoria with Old to Ooh La La Art. And this is part 2. We're working on something that's going to take a couple of parts. Probably one more part after this one. Okay, there. I think I got all my homework done. Now I can just concentrate on what I want to do. Okay. So it looks like it's just you and me, Lori. Unless somebody else says hi. So this is, I just put this up here just for right now. This is my, what's going on? I hit my camera, so it's all out of whack. I didn't think I hit it that much, but evidently I did. Okay, this is my journal that I just finished. I just wanted to show off. Look how thick it is. It's a 12-month journal. Isn't that pretty? Hi, Linda. Hi, Lori. Oh, you know what, Lori? I think Kelly Cat was just finishing up a live, so people might be over there right now. But, they catch me on replay and stuff. Hi, Shannon. So, look how pretty. And for my cover, I did like a really pretty separate tag that you could actually put inside the journal if you wanted to. I'm going to auction this because I have so many journals, you guys. I don't need another journal. So I'm going to put together an auction for that. So keep an eye out if anybody's interested. If haha, it's your first time here, or if you've not done this yet, exclamation point notify. No space, just exclamation point notify. If you put that in the comments here, thank you, Lori, you will get, thank you both Loris, you'll get notified when I go live, okay? So there's that. Somebody else must be live because there's nobody here. But you know what? We're starting anyway. This is just, hold on. This isn't right. Give me a second. I hit it and now it's off kilter. This is why I never go on camera, because I hate this part, getting everything the way I want it. Drives me nuts. Hi, Patricia. There's Regine. Hi, sweetheart. Okay. I'm just playing with the camera right now, you guys. Ugh, makes me nuts. I got that big glow right there. Someday I'll get rid of that. I don't know when, but someday. We'll put that over for right now. Oh, thank you for sharing, Lori. I appreciate that. Listen, you guys, those of you that just got here, try to make this straight. I put a link. Let's talk for a minute about something. I put a link in the beginning of the comments to my YouTube channel. I don't know how many of you know this. I think probably a lot of you do, because it's a pretty big subject right now amongst creators. YouTube is going to delete all of our lives. I've seen middle of June, and then I saw a communication from them that said July 3rd. So first part of summer, all of our lives are going to be deleted, okay? It is what it is. It's their sandbox. They get to do what they want, okay? Here's what I'm going to do. I have paid classes, and I also have classes with purchase. My paid classes, I haven't done one probably in over a year. There was always the stipulation in the description of that class that the class would be yours for as long as Facebook allowed it, because I'm not in charge of Facebook. Facebook is in charge of Facebook. So some of those classes are 2 and 3 years old. If you haven't gotten to it yet, maybe now's the time. I'm good, Regine. As far as, here's what I'm going to do. I've already started. I'm saving all the paid classes and all the classes with purchase. I'm saving them to my computer. I'm going to try to reload them after Facebook does their thing. My son thinks that because it's a download and not a live, that might work, but I don't know if it'll work until I try it. But that's what I'm trying. Also, anything going forward, like this live that we're doing right now, this will disappear in 30 days. So my new practice now is, as soon as a live is over, I go in and I download it to my computer and I put it on Facebook. So you'll be able to find my lives going forward. You'll be able to find them on Facebook, okay? So I'm doing what I can. I'm a one-man band over here, and trust me, my time is better spent doing other things than loading hundreds of videos to YouTube. It's just not going to happen. I have hundreds of lives. It's sad, but it is what it is. Okay, here we go. We started this in our last, I think Sunday we started it. And I used, what's it called? Vintage textures and wild berries. Vintage textures is the writing, and wild berries is the mold. And we did the mold in a heart shape. And when I left you, I had just glued everything down, okay? Then I had to let that dry because it was clay, which I don't use a lot, but this called for clay. When it was dry, I painted everything farmhouse linen. That reminds me, I need to put in a link to Robin. Hold on, because I get all my stuff from Robin. There we go. There's always so much to do. I need a helper. I'm not going to get one, but I need one. Okay, so there's a link to Robin because I use all her stuff. Ah, thanks, Shannon. It's going to be really good. I'm really excited about this. It's turning out just the way I wanted it to. So anyway, back to things at hand. Um, I gave all of the molds a coat of farmhouse linen mineral paint. Okay, that way I don't have to top coat it when I antique it. I gave this a coat, all of the wording, all of the wood, even in between these little places here, a coat of paint couture satin top coat, okay, just to seal this because I'm going to be antiquing the face of this too, and I didn't want it to get too dark, okay? So I gave that. Then I needed to experiment because I couldn't wait a second longer. I needed to make sure that I could get to this, which is what I wanted. I wanted faded out. I didn't want bright, super red in your face strawberries. I wanted faded out strawberries. And so I started with this one and then I just did a couple more. And I needed to see what I needed to do to get that. And what I needed to do was see how well this idea meshed with my mold that I want to put at the top. I wanted them to be like they were one and the same, okay? Like with the with the gold, with the rub and buff and the antiquing and stuff. And so I think it looks really good together. So I was very encouraged. So that mold is from this mold. It's in my Amazon store, but I looked last night and it's sold out. So I guess y'all got one. Keep checking back though in my Amazon store because they restock stuff all the time and everything. It's a really good mold. It's a really good mold. I put hot glue in mine. This is hot glue. And on Sunday we unmolded a hot glue one that I made. This is one that's not been painted yet. And so it works really well with hot glue. What am I doing? I'm giving you a link to my Amazon store. Okay. Today, we're going to paint our strawberries and our leaves and our little flowers. We're going to do not all of it. We're going to do a lot of that today, okay? We'll do a lot of that today. Just to show you how I get that blend of colors. Basically what I did is I took paint couture paints and I made them really watery, kind of like a watercolor almost. That's how I arrived at this nice faded thing that I'm doing here, okay? So I'm going to show you right now how I got for the mold. Did you paint in farmhouse linen, aged in brown, and then highlighted in gold? Yes, doll, exactly. Just like I do with every mold. I painted the whole thing farmhouse linen. I antiqued it, and I rubbed it with rub and buff or Pentart wax paste, whichever one you have will work, okay? And then I did come in and I kind of roughed it up before I put the gold on it. I kind of roughed it up with a file because it looked a little too pristine. I wanted it to look a little bit older, so I kind of roughed it up with a file a little bit, but it looks really good. I'm really happy with this. This piece is just gonna sing. All right, let's talk about our formula for paint, okay? So I'm using all paint couture paints, and for the red, I'm using red velvet. And it came in I think it came in the Christmas Ladybug bundle. So if you have that bundle, you already have red velvet, all right? So here's what I did. I took some water. I put water on a little plate, and I got some paint, and I did this. I want this to be super watery, almost like watercolor almost. That's very wet. It's still quite bright when you put it on, but we're going to pounce it out. If you can see here, it's almost got dimension because I left it a little bit darker on the sides and then I made the top lighter. Ugh, I love it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, and that's how I mixed up the, I'm going to get myself a little towel, and I'm going to get it wet so I can kind of pounce on my strawberries. Okay, so I'm going to bring you real close, and we're just going to paint, okay? And I'll talk to you like what I'm doing and why I'm doing it as we go. Okay, that's a nice close-up, huh? So all of these little things are little strawberries that are starting to become big, okay? We'll start with a big strawberry. So I come in, this is super wet, okay? I'm gonna come all the way down to the sides. If a little bit goes on your board, don't freak out because you're going to be antiquing all this anyway, okay? So I go like that, and then I come back with a little damp towel, and I just kind of give it one of those, okay? Because I don't want it real dark. Now, those are a little bit dark, and that's okay. I like that. This berry right here started out looking just like that, but with antiquing gel and gold, and a little bit, I dry brushed a little bit of farmhouse linen on it, it turned into just what I wanted it to. So I'm going to do this again and do a lighter pounce, and then I'm going to give the sides a little bit more color. And I even came in with my fingers at some point. So you see how it's kind of highlighted on the top? It kind of has its own highlight. So do the same thing with these little guys here. And this is very, very wet red velvet paint couture paint, okay? Very wet. See, I'm just going to come in with my fingers and dab it like that. Not all of these need to be uniform in color, okay? Because in nature they wouldn't be. You know, one would be darker than the other, but I do give it a little pounce to give it a little highlight on the top. That looks a little dark to me, so I'm going to pounce it. And I'll kind of measure everything off of this one because this is the one that doesn't have the antiquing and the gold and stuff on it yet. Okay, so if that looks like that, we're in business. Very, very wet paint. You saw there that I made my paint super, super wet. So it's almost like watercolor, really. So I just put some on, and then I'm just going to do a little dab like that to take some off. And then after it dries, if you want to come in and make the sides a little bit, you know, to give it some dimension, you can certainly do that. This is a kind of a labor-intensive project. This is not like wham bam thank you ma'am. This is going to take a while, but I think it's going to be well worth the time spent. Very excited about it. I've been thinking about this for a while. Sorry. Sorry. Got out of camera range. And then really I'm not even using my towel right now. I'm just kind of using my fingers. And when that dries, we'll go and we'll put a little bit more on the sides and make it more dimensional. Like this looks more dimensional because I put a little bit on the sides, okay? Right now we're just going to get a real light coat on everything strawberry. We still have leaves to do. That's the big strawberry. I mean, look at the dimension on that. It's got the little pits, you know, it looks just like a strawberry. Amazing. I really just kind of take it off the top, kind of, and then it kind of shades itself. You see that? Or if you don't get that shading that you like the first time, you can certainly go back to it. All right, where are we at here's another little guy right here. And I have the smallest of brushes that I'm using. Again, like I said, if you get a little bit on the board, don't worry about it because you're going to be antiquing everything. And, you know, antiquing hides a multitude of sins. Okay, really good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What was that? Something fell. So here's an odd thing. So somebody came to my front door yesterday, two young women, and they parked their car like out in front of my house, and I thought, that's weird. Very young. They had Bibles in their hands, so I knew that, well, I didn't know that they were safe to open the door to. I assumed that they were. I guess I shouldn't have assumed that. They were looking for my husband. They were from the Church of Latter-day Saints. And they were looking for my husband, and they knew him by name. I was like, what in the world is going on? So they left some literature for him, and they were very, very nice. I mean, if they were 21, I'd be very surprised. Very, very young girls. And so my husband gets home, and I said, you had visitors today. He's like, who? I said, well, these two young girls, like, they drove to our house. They came to the door, and they asked for you by name, and they were from the church, you know, the Mormon church. What's going on? And he says, oh my gosh, Victoria. He says he works out in the yard a lot. And he works, you know, like in the driveway on his car. He'll be like washing windows or something, you know. And a lot of times when I look out there, someone in the neighborhood has come to talk to him, and it drives him crazy. He's like, I can't ever get anything done. Everybody wants to talk. They think because I'm out here that I got nothing to do but talk, and I'm working, you know. So I guess he was out there one day, and they were walking the neighborhood. You know how they do. They spread the word. And, you know, they had him out in the yard, and he couldn't escape. And my husband is quite spiritual, and he's not Mormon, but he's quite spiritual. He reads his Bible, and he, you know, knows a lot about the Bible and about, you know, that time, and he's very interested in that. So I'm assuming that they really had a nice conversation, and so they came back to recruit him, which I think is hilarious. young girls, yeah. Oh, these are so pretty. I'm very happy. So you see how I'm going on the sides, and I'm giving a little bit more depth to the sides and leaving the highlight on the top. That's what I'm doing. Shoot, I lost you. I lost you. There we are. Okay. I got you back. Looks like we might be kind of done with the... You're going to have to look from the sides, you know, because you'll have to paint from the sides to get those berries all. Here's what... Oh, there's a big one right in my face. I didn't even see it. When I was putting this together, I wasn't really paying attention to... I don't know how to say this. Like the layout of the strawberries, because I knew that was going to be the biggest pop of color. And as I'm painting this, I can see just by chance I got it right. So here's what I'm talking about. There's a good blend of strawberries. There's a strawberry here I'm going to paint. So there's a good blend of strawberries. Like all the strawberries aren't in one place. And I didn't really think of that when I was painting. I should have. I mean, when I was putting the clay down, I should have thought of that, how I was, you know, spacing them, but if you try this, that's something to bear in mind. It's funny, you can look right at one and not even see it. There's a little bit of a strawberry here. And I will even paint the sides of it. See that? And there's one up here. Okay, I think that's all the strawberries. Let me do a quick check. Strawberries. Okay, no more strawberries. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to put some dimension on these because they're dry. So I'm just going to put a little bit more color on the sides. Not a ton though. There's Robin. Can you incorporate a few small strawberries somehow into the casting for the top? What do you mean, honey? What do you mean, like up here? Explain yourself, Shannon. Thank you, Robin. Right now, Robin, we're just adding a little bit of dimension. We're using red velvet that I've watered down to where it's almost like watercolor. And we've given all of our strawberries a very, very soft coat of that. And then I come back in because you can see down here how it's got some dimension because I made the sides a little bit darker. So that's what I'm doing to everybody else right now because they're kind of dried. But if I keep the paint off of the top, it kind of creates its own highlight. At least that's what I tell myself. So I've already painted. I'm going to come and put a little bit darker on the sides. I'm still going to buff it out with my finger a little bit. All right, this one looks like it needs a little dimension. The other place you made with the mold from Amazon. The other piece you made with the mold from Amazon. Oh, this. Put some strawberries on this? Nah. No, because this is like the, I get where you're coming from, but this is like the topper. It could be cute in another application, but I think for that, perhaps not. But feel free to do it on yours and show it to us, Shannon, if you make one. You know how you see those frames sometimes that have like metal across the top? That's kind of the look I'm going for. All right, so I like the way our strawberries look. They almost look like they're cut in half, don't they? You know, the middle of the strawberry is kind of white. Got one more up here. Okay, I'm happy with the strawberries. Let's move on to the leaves. The leaves are a lot easier because the leaves are just misty fjord, I don't know how to say that. Yeah, they do. They like literally turn into watercolors, don't they, Robin? It's really It's really advantageous because that's exactly the look that I needed for this. So this, I just used full strength because it was so light, okay? And if you don't have, I think most people have autumn sage. You could put, hi Sheila, you could put white into autumn sage to get to this color, I feel like. I feel like you could do that. And I'm just going to use this kind of, I'm going to thin it down a little bit because Pink Couture is a little bit on the thick side for what I need. So I'm not making it watery though. I'm using it full strength because it's the perfect color for to give you like a really nice soft leaf. Okay. Thank you, Regine. That's a nice thing to say. Okay, so I'm just going to start. And also, if you water, excuse me, if you water down the Pink Couture, it flows easier into your molds, okay? I have found. So now I'm just going to paint all of these leaves. Perfect color for this. Because I wanted, remember we talked about it in the first live, I want everything to be super soft. And so I almost have that aged look before I even do anything else. And all of these little strawberries have little caps to them that are green. You gotta look close to make sure that you're painting the right stuff, because when this stuff is, when it's just like this and it's just painted farmhouse linen, it all looks the same to me. I have to really look at it to make sure that I'm, like there's a flower there, I don't want to paint that green. The flowers I'm going to leave farmhouse linen, and I'm going to take, I think it's called Tuscan Sunrise, and mix it with some white to make it a lot lighter because it's quite a vibrant color, and put little yellow centers in all of the flowers. And any place that, like right here where I got red, you can just cover that right up with the green. Not even a problem. Oh, it's perfect, perfect. I love it. I love it. I thought I was going to have to mix autumn sage with some white, and I've forgotten that I had this Misty Fjord. I believe it came in the Ladybug Spring Bundle, and it was the perfect. Shannon, try it. You didn't see the first live, honey? It's on YouTube. It's still on my page too, but it is on YouTube as well. I put a link to YouTube in one of the first comments, Shannon. So while you guys are over there, hit what's it called? Subscribe, if you would be so kind. Okay, this is going along quite nicely. like I said, all of the strawberries have these little caps of green. So if you've kind of got a little bleed over of the red, this is the time where you can cover that up. So pretty. Oh, Shannon, I'm glad to hear that she's doing well. Glad to hear she's doing well. That's nothing to play around with. My paint's getting a little thick, so I'm going to add some more water. Don't forget your sides, because your sides will be pretty built up because you've, laid down a thick layer of clay. So in a minute here I'm gonna, oh, I think that's a strawberry. I'm gonna come, see how thick the sides are? You're gonna have to paint those as well. That's white, so I'm gonna leave it because that's a flower. Blossom, I guess it would be a strawberry blossom. That is definitely a strawberry. I'll wait for that to dry and then I'll give it some dimension. It's got that nice little ruffle of green up at the top. This is riveting, isn't it? Not really. Okay, so that's part flower and part, and make it all flower. I know for sure this is a leaf. What's everybody watching on TV? We're watching something called Reacher on Amazon Prime. It's really good. It's the 3rd season. The guy's really, really easy on the eyes. he's really handsome. He's got a body that just won't quit. He's this huge guy. And they show him without his shirt a lot. It's a good program. My husband will even watch it. So it's hard to find something to watch with your husband, because if it were up to me, I would just watch reality TV all the time. Love reality TV. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And my husband, he just hates it. He's like, oh, all they do is scream. So, well, that's what the volume's for. You just turn it down when they start screaming. Like I'm watching, what is it called? Last Resort. Yeah. I have no life. That's okay. That's okay. I'm happy. I'm happy. Love is Blind. Yeah, Ron's watching what, honey? Last Resort? I don't have Netflix, so I can't watch Love is Blind. But when I had Netflix, I did like it. It was good. Did you see that that girl just like I believe it was from Love is Blind. They got like all the way to the altar and she decided not to marry him because his political views did not align with hers. Well, actually, he didn't have any political views and she didn't like that either. So she loved him so much, she said, but she wouldn't marry him. Oh, girl, Southern Charm is my love Southern Charm. Is Shep is getting a dose of. First of all, let me say I know this stuff is mostly scripted. I get that. Okay, I don't care. I love the drama. So anyway, Lori, back to Southern Charm. Um, Shep, what a sad sack, huh? I'm not even there, and I could tell that girl didn't like him. And the one that comes on after it, Southern Hospitality, is pretty good. It takes a little getting used to, but I kind of like that too. So yeah, it's kind of like Vanderpump Rules, but in the South. Oh, Reacher, yeah, yeah. A lot of men don't like reality TV. I don't know. I guess having wives is enough reality for them. But you know, I have no drama in my life, so I need to pipe the drama in. I need to see other people's drama. And you know what I used to love? Oh, it was such a train wreck, but I just loved it. She's a travel nurse, so she's not going to commit. Oh, is that what it was? Okay, I didn't. I only saw a clip like on TV. They showed a news story about it. That's the only thing that I knew about that. And it's funny, you know, she's like asking him about all these different, things, like, I don't know, in the clip I saw, she asked him like about, the Black Lives Matter movement. And he's like, I don't really have an opinion on that, which is fair. You don't have to have an opinion on everything. And she didn't like that. She wanted him to have an opinion just like hers about everything. But she loved him. She loved him, but she wasn't going to marry him because he didn't have an opinion. And it's not even like what I thought was so funny. It's not even like he had a different opinion of hers. He just didn't have an opinion at all on it. He just wasn't political. She's like, yeah, I'm not going to marry you. It's like, girl, whatever. Whatever. Ooh, that's turning out pretty. Yeah, Lori, try that one out. It takes a little getting used to. You need 3 or 4 episodes to really buy into their drama. But ooh, do they have some drama? It's good. I like it. I was watching Will Trent for a while, but I don't know why I kind of backed off of that. And then I was watching The Mentalist for a while, but sometimes the stories are all the same every week. Wow, look how good that looks. Oh, you know what's really good, you guys? Oh my gosh. It's one of the best things I've seen on TV in a long time, and it's very much a drama. It's not foofy, crazy reality TV. It's called Paradise. It's so good. It's so good. I just finished the first season. It's so good. It's kind of like about not really end of the world, but it's just really good. I can't even explain it. Really good. The guy from Sterling Brown from This Is Us. Do you guys remember that? This Is Us. Did anybody watch that? He's the lead in it, and I really like him as an actor. It's just really a good, and it's a story that you don't know where it's going to go. I love that because, like, everything's been done, right? So when you can surprise me, I really like that. It's a very good program. Has anybody watched it? It's called Paradise. It's on Hulu. Oh, Shannon, you've been watching it. Is that not fabulous? It's so good. It's so good. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't I absolutely love it. It's one of the best things I've watched in a very long time. Yeah, I'm a big fan. And I just watched the last episode of season 1, so I don't know when season 2's coming, but probably not very soon because they just did that whole first season, but it's really, really good. This is turning out so pretty. When we put those little pops of yellow in there, it's going to really, really make this pretty. Should I keep going? You guys want to watch me do this? It's kind of boring. I mean, I'll do it because I'm going to do it anyway. You guys, I have so many ideas of things I want to do. So many ideas. I'm in a creative. Oh, honey, do you think you thought you might get stressed over it? It's not scary, and it's not like, oh my gosh, it's not like that. It's not like there's not like blood and gore and stuff. It's just a really solid story. Very solid story. Yeah. Give, you say you saw a little bit of it, Linda? Started watching, but I wondered if I would get stressed over it. Yeah, Shannon, it's really not like, end of the world stuff. It's just like there's a world, it's just a different world. And it's an interesting concept, isn't it? Linda, I think you can go with it. And if it has not stressed you out yet, if you've watched like 2 or 3 episodes and you're not stressed yet, but you have like anticipatory stress, I think you'll be okay. Because I don't find it stressful, but I watch stuff about serial killers, so what do I know? But that being said, I don't watch horror films like where women scream and stuff. I can't watch that. No. I don't I don't want to be like petrified out of my mind. Never watch those like screamer horror movies. Never. Shannon, that's a perfect explanation of Paradise, what you just wrote. And then seeing that Sterling Brown, it made me want to go back and rewatch This Is Us. Did anybody watch This Is Us? Oh, what a fabulous, fabulous program that was. It was so good. Yeah, I'm not a horror film. Serial killers, yeah, I'll watch that, but not a horror film. A thriller, I don't mind. I don't mind that. But like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and stuff like that, no, 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 no. Which I know I'm dating myself. That's really old. I saw saw that at a drive-in when I was like, I don't know, 15 or something, and I was scarred for life. I think it's the last horror movie I ever watched. It's like, no, 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 not my thing. You'll find when this paint dries, because it's quite watery, that you'll get little white spots that show through. You can just go back and touch those up. But it's not really a big deal because you're going to be antiquing this, and antiquing is going to be fun. That's always the best part anyway, I think. Oh my gosh, Shannon, you haven't watched This Is Us? It's so good. It's so good. So, so good. Like Paradise good. But different. It's a different. Um, I tried to watch Tracker because the guy in it is from This Is Us, and he's quite easy on the eye, but it didn't do it for me. Yeah, I wasn't impressed. Was not impressed. Yeah, Dexter, the original Dexter. Are you watching the new one? I guess there's a new one, huh? Yeah, everybody loved Dexter when it was on. And the concept of Dexter was really clever, I thought. You guys, I still have a lot to go. going to be so pretty. Season 2's better? I just have to get through season 1? Okay. But watch This Is Us. You'll thank me. It's so good. It's just so beautifully done. And I don't know how old you are, but you'll probably relate to it because like a lot of it's, not a lot of it, but there's a lot of flashbacks to different times, which is really cool. Oh, that's really watery. The new one's good. The new Dexter is good. That's probably on Netflix though, right? Ah, that got out of control. That's all right. Nothing Antiquing Joe won't fix. Getting close. I'm getting close. Oh, Robin. Yes, you absolutely have to. And I envy both of you because you're going to be able to watch it from like marathon from start to finish because it's already over and it's already got everything right there for you to watch. I love finding a new program that I really like and like all the seasons are already there. Love that. I like Love Island too. I prefer the Australian and the English one, but I've kind of gone through all those, and so now I'm doing the American one, which is not it's okay. I like accents. I love Australian accents. And you guys, how funny is this? There's a kid on, I think I'm on season 2 of like American Love Island, and there's a kid on there that looks so much like Jump Rope Guy, and it took me a minute. It's like, oh, I know him. I've seen this guy before. Where have I seen this guy before? And then it occurred to me it's Jump Rope Guy. He looks just like Jump Rope Guy. He's Colombian. He's got this fabulous accent. He's really, really cute. Okay, we're getting close. This is going to be so pretty. I'm so happy. Oh, okay. With Dexter. So he must, like his dad must be in it and stuff. So what I remember from Dexter was that he had like this propensity to kill people, like an urge that he couldn't control, if I remember correctly. And didn't his dad like help him channel it into killing people that deserved it, kind of thing? Which I don't know. There's a whole moral thing to that. I don't know how people feel about that, but to me, I mean, yeah. If somebody's like an absolute awful person, Hitler, I think everybody would go back and kill Hitler. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that, um, Charlie Manson. So, right, wasn't that the premise of Dexter? Was that he was a killer, or he liked to kill, and so his dad helped him channel it into doing it for the greater good. I don't know how else to say that. He killed people that deserved it, let's put it that way. And then, of course, who can judge who deserves it or not? But it's just a TV program. It's a good premise. The Dark Passenger. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, and it shows his mom, too? Is she normal? Well, maybe the mom and dad. Look, you guys, there's part of a strawberry that I missed. I'm getting very close. And so obviously while you're doing this, leave both of your paints out because you're going to come across things that you've missed, like I am right now. Oh, it's not his real dad. But it's on Netflix, isn't it? I'm not going to be able to see it because it's on net. Oh, but we have Fire Stick. I can watch it on Fire Stick. Okay, what do we got here? I think I'm down to the last little bit of leaves, and then we can put our little yellow dots, and then we're going to let everything dry, and then we will be antiquing in our next live. Maybe tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Is tomorrow Wednesday? I could do Wednesday. Okay, I got a little strawberry action over here I gotta fill in. Spoiler alert. Whoops. Don't forget your sides, you guys. In fact, I'm going to go right now. I'm going to look all around my sides and make sure that all my sides are painted the proper color. It'll either be green or red, and then wherever the flowers are, like right there, there's a flower, that's going to stay white because the flowers are white. Okay, I did pretty good. All right. So let's see how our, oh, we got really nice placement with our strawberries, I think. And that was a complete accident, because I wasn't really thinking in terms of like layout when I was doing it. I was just doing it. I'm going to give this a little bit of depth right in here. Not depth. What am I trying to say? Yeah, depth. There was one other strawberry that looked like it needed a little help. Dimension. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay. Pretty happy. Let's get out that yellow and dot our flowers. Oh, I saw that, Shannon, those eagles with those babies. Weren't they cute? I can't remember their names. They had really cute names, too. All right, you know what? I see a yellow here that's even lighter. Oh, Spanish Sunrise. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. And, oh, that's Gold Mine. Okay, so Spanish Sunrise is what we're going to use. And it looks very, very light. So maybe we don't have to water this down. Because, you know, you got to remember, you're going to be oh yeah, we can use this full strength. You're going to be putting antiquing gel over everything. I need another really thin brush. Maybe not that thin. Be there forever. Jackie in Shadow, that's right. I used to have 2 pigeons that came in my yard. I got on this kick. Jack was so mad at me. Let's feed birds in the backyard. So we got like this cute bird feeder, and I got them little, you know, all kinds of little seeds that they would like and everything. And we'd sit out there in the spring and we'd watch the birds come, and it was just so fun and relaxing. Hold on. I can't get the top off of this paint. Hold on. Yow! So they weren't pigeons, they were doves. And so these 2 doves kept showing up every day for the bird seed. And they were so cute. And I named them Flotus and Potus. And we're sitting out there one day and saw this weird thing like on the bush, like something jumping. I'm like, well, Jack, what's that? He's like, I don't want to tell you. I'm like, oh my God, look, it's like a little ground squirrel or something. He goes, no, Victoria, it's a rat. Oh my God. It was during COVID, and we live at the very end of our street, a bit of ways, but still, close enough, is a high school. And I'm sure that every school is full of rats because there's all kinds of food, you know. And the school had been closed for however long they closed the schools, so the schools have been closed. So the rats dispersed from there and went to all the homes in the neighborhood, I guess, is the only thing that we could, surmise, because I'd never seen a rat before in my yard. And so we had rats. So we had to quit feeding the birds. And I was so disappointed because it was so lovely, but you can't have rats in your yard, Oh, they're so gross. And then, I mean, they're just doing their rat thing, It's not their fault they're rats, right? But they're filthy and they spread disease, and yeah, it's just not a good thing. So one early evening we're out there and a rat runs along one of our retaining walls, and Oliver saw it, and he lost his mind. And that was what, 2 or 3 years ago? Do you know, every time he goes in the backyard, he still scans that fence looking for, we called him Ben, looking for Ben. And we can tell him, where's Ben? And he'll look and he'll scan the whole perimeter of that wall looking for Ben. We've had a hard time getting rid of those rats. Yeah, ugh. I was so disappointed. I'm like, look, it's like a little ground squirrel. He's like, babe, it's a rat. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going in the house. Get rid of it. So we couldn't feed the birds anymore, which was a shame. Now we just feed hummingbirds. My husband has this love affair with these hummingbirds. They come right up to him. They talk to him. He talks to them. And it's just wild. Yeah. They come looking for him. They come and they fly and they hover right in the window when the hummingbird feeder's empty. He's like, oh, I guess I better go check. He's like, yeah, it's empty. And they let him know. Yeah. And sometimes they get in the house because we leave our patio door open a lot when it's nice outside. And look how pretty. And they'll come in the house and they'll let you catch them. You can actually catch them. They generally end up in the window, and you just talk to them real soft and nice, and they're real still and quiet, and they actually let you pick them up and take them back outside. So I read a bunch of stuff about hummingbirds, and they recognize people. So they have like facial recognition, and so they know who we are, so they're not that afraid of us. I mean, they'd probably prefer not to be picked up, but how are you going to get them out of your house? The first time I did it, I was scared to death, but I was alone, and a little hummingbird was in here, and he was like beating himself against the window, and I thought he was going to hurt himself. So I was like, oh, okay, put your big girl panties on. You'd seen Jack do it a couple of times. You can do it. And I did it. Yeah, they're so light and they're so soft. And he was just as still as he could be, and he was looking right at me. And I just scooped him up in my hands and took him outside, and he flew right over to the hummingbird feeder and sat there and looked at me. Look how pretty. Isn't that pretty? It's going to be so pretty antiqued. I have some really, really good stories, Lori, that I could never tell. Here. I was a bartender for a long time, and in Las Vegas, and you can imagine the stories I have. Yeah. Not only was I a bartender in Las Vegas, but I was a single woman in Las Vegas till I was like 32. So, yeah, I'm probably lucky to be alive. But it was fun. I have a few little spots here that are red that I'm just going to touch up, even though I know that the antiquing gel will take care of that. I'm a little, I just want to make sure it's right. Oh, look how pretty that is with the yellow. It's going to be so pretty. I'm so happy that I had the good fortune of having nice placement. I didn't plan on it. It just kind of happened. Just kind of happened. I'll tell you a cute Jeremy story. Jeremy's my son. When he was little, like 5 or 6, Pokemon was a huge thing. Remember Pokemon? Oh my God, he was a maniac. He loved Pokemon, and we'd go every Saturday to the Borders bookstore, and they had Pokemon tournaments, and we'd spend hours there, and I'd sit there while he played Pokemon, and he was just so happy about that. And, and so the Pokemon all have like these fun little names, Psyduck was my favorite because Psyduck always had a headache, and I was going through menopause at the time, and I always had like that estrogen headache, so Psyduck was my favorite one. And this year for Mother's Day, Jeremy got me a giant stuffed Psyduck. I think I told you guys that, and it made me cry because it was so sweet. Brought back a lot of good memories of just me and him playing Pokemon together, because when you got an only child, you got to be their playmate, right? So where was I going with this? Oh, so I'm watching Oprah one day, and there's a Pokemon, and his name was Metapod. Metapod was his name. And so Jeremy's in the room with me, and I'm watching Oprah, and she said menopause, and he whipped his head around, and he said, "Does she have a Metapod on her show?" Oh my gosh. I said, "No, honey." She said menopause. He says, "Well, what's that?" I said, "Well, I'll tell you someday." How do you explain menopause to a 5-year-old, But it does sound similar. Man, he whipped his head around. He thought somebody had an actual Metapod. Someone had caught a real one and put it on TV. Yeah, good times for sure. There's a spot in here that needs to be painted green. I saw it and now I've lost it. There it is. There it is. Yeah, and the little stories kind of come back to you, and you're like, oh, I haven't thought about that in a long time. I wrote a lot of them down as they were happening because I knew I'd forget them in my old age. So I have a book of Jeremy stories that are pretty funny. My husband's almost completely bald, and his hair's always been pretty thin. We were in a furniture store one time, and we were on an escalator, and you know how little kids have those big voices, they don't say anything quietly, big voices. And the man in front of us on the escalator, Jack was holding Jeremy, and the man in front of us was bald. And Jeremy says in that big little kid voice that only they have, he goes, "Look, Daddy, that man has skin on his head just like you." Super loud. Oh my God, it was so funny. Oh, geez. Baby Jeremy stories, we call them. Baby Jeremy. Ugh, he was so cute. Well, they're all cute, aren't they? All right, I'm putting this stuff away. One more Jeremy story because this one's hilarious. We're in Walgreens, me and Jeremy, and he's young. He's 4, maybe 5, probably more like 4. And he's and when you just walk into Walgreens, they have the baskets right there, and everybody gets a basket, and then they go do their thing. So the person that walked in front of us got their basket and was moving along, and I saw them, and I thought, oh God, no, let me go quick because I know he's gonna say something. And the the person in front of us, bless her heart, she was very handsome. It looked like a man. Okay, I'm not casting aspersions, but she did. She looked like a man, and she had this big purse, this big bag. And Jeremy says in that big little kid voice, he goes, "Mommy, why does that man have a purse?" Scooted down another aisle. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed. I'm like, "Oh, honey, I don't know that person." I'm not gonna get mad at him. He's just being a kid, right? You know. Oh my gosh, so funny. I'm just touching up my strawberries a little bit here because I want it to be just right. Adding a little bit of shading around the edges. Oh, there's that one. I knew there was one that didn't have green on it. Okay, last Jeremy story. It's hilarious. We're in the library and we're looking for, books for him. And sometimes when you're on one aisle, if there's no books, you can see through to the other aisle. And so there was this big space where there were no books. And you could really only see the floor on the other aisle. And there was a person standing there. You could only see his feet, and he was he was in sandals, and he was missing like two toes. And it wasn't like his big toe, but it was like the two next to his big toe. So it was quite apparent in his sandals that he was missing a couple of toes. And Jeremy says, "Look at that, Mom. That's not something you see every day." In that baby big voice. Oh my God. He was hilarious. Well, they're all hilarious, the things that they say. After I was a bartender and I had my son, I did aftercare for children at some of the different schools that he went to. And I just loved it. Kids are just the best. They just say the best stuff, and they don't even know how funny they are. And that was my favorite thing ever, was being around those kids and just the stuff that would come out of their mouths. It's just hilarious. We'll save that for our next live. I'll tell you some of my aftercare stories. I think we're done with this part, you guys. Oh, that looks so good. I'm so happy. So happy. I was telling my husband a story about Jeremy last night. He goes, "I don't remember that." And now I don't remember it. I don't remember what I told him. I got some red on the side of this that I'm not happy with. So I'm going to get my brush with a little bit of farmhouse linen on it. Just kind of buff that out a little bit. I got a little bit more over here too. Just going to buff that out so it's not red anymore. Okay, there it is, you guys. Ooh. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, yeah, Shannon. Absolutely. Kids tell you stuff, and you're like, oh, if your mom knew what you were saying, or if your dad knew what you were saying. So, and it lasts, they get older. They don't know that they shouldn't say stuff. Jeremy was in middle school. I think he was like in fourth. Well, middle school isn't that. I'm trying to think. He must have been maybe like in fourth grade or something. And he hadn't seen the teacher all summer, one of his favorite teachers. So she sees him in the hallway, and she's like, "Oh, Jeremy, hi, how was your summer?" Blah, blah, blah. He's, "Oh, it was good." And she's like, "How's your mom?" Because I did like a lot of room mom things and stuff. "How's your mom?" And Jeremy says, Jeremy says, "My mom's really happy right now. For the first time in a long time, she weighs less than my dad." So he overheard that conversation that my husband and I had, and that teacher called me at home because we knew each other. She said, "You're not going to believe what Jeremy told me." I was like, "Oh my God," we laughed so stinking hard. It's just hilarious. Anyway, there's our project. Okay, our third, our third part, we'll antique it, and I think we'll be done. We'll antique it, and we'll put, look, we'll put this up here. It's gonna be fabulous. It's gonna be so, so pretty. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. How long did that take? An hour 15. That's not bad. Okay. So that's it. I put a lot of links in the I'm gonna be laughing and thinking of Jeremy's stories all day now. Or just kid stories. Kids are just the best. Kids are the best. So when I was working at this one private school that my son went to, there was this little girl, and she was just darling. She was just a beautiful, beautiful little girl. And her parents were very, very wealthy. She came to school in a limousine every morning. Sometimes her mom was with her, and sometimes she wasn't. Sometimes just the driver would drop her off. And she was young. She was maybe first grade, very young. And and in the lunchroom, the way I controlled the kids, because I did lunch and then I did aftercare, and then I got like a real nice stipend for tuition, which is why I did it. And then I taught art classes too after school, a lot of stuff. Anyway, this little girl, I wish I could remember her name. She had this beautiful little name. She looked like Thumbelina. She was just so sweet and pretty. And the big thing in the lunchroom was you got to be like a lunch monitor. If you were quiet and if you ate all your lunch, you got to be a lunch monitor. And it didn't really matter if you did that. I just went around the table, and everybody eventually got to be a lunch monitor, because fair's fair. And so and you got to wear this kind of like medallion thing that I had made that said lunch monitor on it. It was like kind of fancy, and it was like a cool thing to be picked out to be the lunch monitor. At least the kids thought so. Okay, so it's like, oh, you've been so good and you've been helpful during lunch, and I've been watching you. You get to be the lunch monitor. And the lunch monitor got to help the two of us. There were two women in the lunchroom. They got to help us clean up a little bit, and then they got to go to the playground. But that was a big thing to most kids. So this little girl, this little rich girl, I said, whatever her name was, sweetheart, you get to be the lunch monitor today because you've been so lovely during lunch. And she looks at me and she goes, well, that's nice. I would like that, but I really just want to wear the necklace. I don't want to clean anything up. She probably never cleaned up anything in her whole life. I thought that was hilarious. I said, okay, honey, you don't have to clean anything up. You can just wear the necklace. She was such a beautiful little girl. Just a beautiful little girl. I don't really want to clean up. I just want to wear the necklace. A woman after my own heart. One little spot here that's calling my name. All right, you guys, I gotta go. Look how pretty that is. I just saw that in the camera. Oh, that's pretty. So, so pretty. Okay. I was worried it wouldn't really translate to a heart, but it really does, doesn't it? Boy, the flowers are just everything about it. I just couldn't love it more. Okay. I will see you perhaps tomorrow. And we will antique, but I'll make sure to give you guys lots of what's the word I'm looking for? Lots of notification. Yeah, I'll put a notification on my page. All right, you guys. Thanks for hanging out and laughing. I'll see you guys later. Bye, ladybugs.